What a crowd. What a crowd. Hello, Florida. Hello, Florida. We love Florida. What a great victory we had. And we're going to have an even bigger victory. Get out there and vote. We're going to have a bigger victory. And I don't know if you found out, you've been here a long time. I hope the music was good. I hope life is good. Everything's good. That's a good-looking crowd. Good-looking people, I will say. No, we're gonna have a big victory. I don't know if you know what's happening, but I don't know if you know what's happening, but they're very worried, the Democrats, about Florida. They're very concerned. The vote's not there. It's not there for them. They had to get out to that big early lead, and it could be that we're leading. That's a little problem. 2 days from now, we're going to win my home state of Florida. And we are going to win 4 more years in the White House. This is a very vital group, isn't it? With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police, support our great military, protect your Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that wonderful phrase, made in the USA. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. You see what's happening. You see it happening right before your eyes. Under my leadership, our economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded in the history of our country. 33.1%. 33.1%. We created a record 11.4 million jobs in the last 5 months alone. Another record. Got so many records. Now we have a chance to do something next year even greater than last year. We had it the best ever, and then we got hit by the plague from China, and we will never forget it. We're never going to forget it, and then we're building it up at a level that nobody thought possible, leading every nation in the world by far. While foreign nations are in a free fall, we are creating an economic powerhouse unrivaled anywhere in the world. Nothing and no one in the world is doing what we're doing. Now, if somebody wants to quadruple your taxes, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I think I can. It's called the Depression. A recent Gallup poll found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago under Sleepy Joe Biden and Obama. And if Biden and Kamala, most liberal member of Congress, she makes crazy Bernie look like he's a very strict conservative. And the radical left gain power, the economy will collapse, and our country will go into a very deep and steep depression. I hate to tell you. Look, we're not going to have to worry about it because I think we're going to win. You know who else thinks we're going to win? The Democrats think we're going to win, the Democrats. They're starting to say, oh, this is not good. We're looking great here. We're looking great in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Iowa. Did you see the poll just came out in Iowa? First big poll. We're only up 8. I'm very upset about that. We're only up 8. No, we're looking very strong. Looking strong in Georgia. We just left the great state of Georgia. We're looking strong in Georgia. In fact, they said, sir, you don't have to go to Georgia. They said a couple of days ago. I said, wait a minute, people are waiting for 2.5 days. I'm not going to cancel on Georgia, right? I've been doing this, since early in the morning, only for you. I guess I could have canceled you too, right? But nobody would have the courage to cancel you. Nah, I wouldn't even think about it. Thank you. Thank you. And I love you too. I love you too. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. Because as I've said many times, this will never, ever, ever be a socialist nation. We will not allow it. Sleepy Joe Biden will raise your taxes. $4 trillion. Can you believe it? He's the only candidate I've ever seen that campaigns on the fact, I will raise your taxes. This guy. I will take away your Second Amendment. We will not frack. For 2 years, you know, we will not frack. Then he got to Pennsylvania. He said, well, I was only kidding. Oh, look at all the press at this time. Look at that. The fake news followed us. They followed us. No, the only one I've ever seen do that. We don't worry about them. They don't tell the truth anyway, so what difference? Just pretend they're not here. Pretend they're not here. They're having a very bad couple of weeks, as you know. They've actually had a bad 4 years, haven't they, when you think about it? Massively increased regulations. You know, we cut regulations more than any administration in the history of our country, and they'll put them right back. Sleepy Joe. It won't be him because he has no idea where he is. But he's surrounded by a lot of very far left people. Close down your factories, send your jobs overseas, destroy the suburbs. You know, I say, suburban women, please love me, please love me. Because, oh, got a lot of suburban women. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Don't forget, suburban women, men also, but we don't worry about them, man. The hell with the men. I'm terminating a regulation that has ruined suburbia. You too can have a project next to your house, and I terminate it. Oh, well, we have... Is that the first sign of trouble in weeks? All right. Is that okay? Is that everybody okay over there? All right. Is that somebody went down, or is it somebody that's trouble? Because if there's trouble, we have somebody right over here that can handle it very nicely. I guarantee, I'll bet everything to this guy right here. All right. You know, the one that make all the noise is our people. Somebody shouts, they have no voice, they're weak. They have no voice. Their mother's looking for them, their father's looking for them. They too live in a basement usually. And nobody can hear them. What they hear is thousands of people going, yeah, watch. Yeah. That's all right. Just pretend the person doesn't exist or get them out, please. They want to terminate your religious liberty, outlaw private health care, confiscate your guns. Your Second Amendment is under siege. But don't worry. As long as I'm here, nothing's happening. They want to ban fracking, abolish energy, cut your Medicare, cut your Social Security, by allowing millions of people to come into our country and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. That's where we are. But it's not going to happen. You're going to vote, and it's not going to happen. You know, we win Florida, we win the whole thing. You know that, right? Sure. That's true. We win Florida, we win the whole thing. Our opponents want to turn America into communist Cuba or socialist Venezuela, and we're not going to let that happen. Our opponent's agenda is a war on workers, a war on faith, and a war on our police. Biden says he's running as a proud Democrat. I'm running as a proud American. Is that okay? Joe Biden is a globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless foreign wars. They're all coming back. They're all coming home, our great soldiers. We became policemen to the world. Well, for other reasons, they could very well do that, couldn't they? Joe Biden is a corrupt politician bought and paid for by China. You see that? And others. In 2016, Florida voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. Probably why we won. If I don't always play by the rules of Washington and the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder than anybody in this place except one person, perhaps him. He's the only one that fights harder. Great guy. My opponent is promising a long, dark winter. Did anybody happen to see the debate? See, that's my arena. That was my arena, right? He didn't come out too good. He came out like your opponents come out. No, that was not good for him. How about the last question? We talked about energy, right? Well, I'd like to transition out of petroleum. I said, I felt like Perry Mason, the last question of the evening. I said, whoa, did you tell that to Texas? Did you tell that to Pennsylvania? Even Kristen Welker, who frankly did not a bad job considering she's totally on the other side of the plate, she looked and she said, why did you say that? You know, she's trying to save the poor guy. Ay, ay, ay. This is what we got. Can you believe it? This could only happen to me. This is, and I don't care, I'll say it anyway. Look, this is, in the history of presidential politics, this is the worst candidate ever to run, and this puts a lot of pressure on me. Because if you lose to a guy like this, I'd rather really have a great candidate because you feel better. I'm running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics. Is there any place you would rather be than at a Trump rally? Got a lot of rich people here, my friends. Got a lot of, oh, Steve, hi, Steve. We got a lot of rich people here, a lot of money in this first row. A lot of money. I built the best economy in history, and now we're going to do it again. You know that hat? I see thousands and thousands of them. You know, we're getting 35, 40,000 people all the time. We'd get more, but they don't have any more room. How about this? You take an airport, right? You take an airport, you don't have enough room. Did you ever think of that one? We have an airport. We don't have enough room. This is amazing. There's never been anything like this has ever happened in the history of politics. Probably in any other history. And I don't have a guitar. You know, the truth is, no, it's true. They don't get crowds like this. Nobody gets crowds like this. You know what gets crowds like this? Making America great again. That's what gets crowds like this. The only thing that's going to get a crowd like this. And you know, Sleepy Joe had a rally today. They had 12 people in those little circles. He's got those little crazy circles. It's the only thing good about his campaign, the guy that does the work. I'm a perfectionist. They're so beautiful, nice and wide. And they can't fill them up, so they get the media. Could you please take a circle? And now he's got President Barack Hussein Obama comes in. President Obama. You know, the Democrats never talk about it. You know that federal judgeships are like the biggest deal. Then you have Supreme Court justices. Barack Obama left me 142 federal judgeships. Nothing like that's ever happened. Nothing. Very rarely does it, you know, when you're a president, you leave, every one of them is filled. Those are the most important things you can have. Federal judgeships, lifetime appointments. It's such a big deal. He left me 142. And we are going to have, listen to this, we are going to have, in my first term, record-breaking, approximately 300 federal judges. It's a very big percentage of the whole federal bench. And we are going to have, we just put a great one on, Amy, 3 Supreme Court justices. And whatever happened with Biden? He was going to say, you know, is he going to pack the court? He just keeps tapping. Maybe he's smarter than we think. Keeps tapping it along. And who are the people he's going to put on? He was supposed to say who he's put. You cannot vote for him if he doesn't tell you about packing the court. Therefore, is anybody in this audience going to vote for Sleepy Joe Biden? I can't imagine anyone having the courage. I can't believe, look at those people. They go, does anybody have the courage to even raise your hand? That wouldn't be a very good thing to do. Who is going to vote on Election Day for President Trump? Who has already voted? Has anybody here, seriously, we don't mind, it's not going to matter. No, not going to matter. Has anybody voted with all those people that have already voted? And we have a lot of votes going out. And I think we're leading, can you believe, in early voting? But has anybody, oh, that's a shock. Oh, that's the big story. They're saying we have to get more people out. Maybe I shouldn't say that, people are watching. No, we're doing good. No, but anybody here vote for Sleepy Joe Biden? Okay, good. I believe you. I believe you. This election is a choice between a crippling depression or a historic boom. It is. You have a depression. All that money, all those 401ks, they're going to go right down the tubes, throw it out. It's a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown. He wants to lock down the country. I just left a country. I just left a state that locked down. I left 2 of them, and they're not happy about it, I'll tell you right now. You know what's going to happen to them? On November 4th, the day after, they're going to say, all right, we'll open up now. That's why they're locking down. But we're going to have a safe vaccine that ends the pandemic. Without it, it's rounding the turn. I say it drives them crazy. It's rounding the turn. Because all they want to do, you turn in the news, COVID, 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 COVID. We'd like to talk about COVID, and then next time. Here's what happens, November 4th. You won't hear too much about it. You won't hear too much about it. Don't tell anybody, but let me wait till a little bit after the election, please. I appreciate the advice. I appreciate that. No, he's been wrong on a lot. He's a nice man, though. He's been wrong on a lot. Do not, under any circumstances, wear a mask, he said. Do not close up to China, he said. Then he said later on that President Trump saved tens of thousands of lives because I closed early. But how about this? How about Sleepy Joe? I close, and he calls me xenophobic. I said, give me a definition of that, Joe. Give me a definition. He didn't know. He had no idea what it meant. You know? 25 years ago, he was not smart. He was never considered smart. And now he's considered about half of that. This is not what you want for your president. We're doing too well. Our country's doing too well. We will mass distribute the vaccine in just a few weeks. We have all the vaccines. It's all set. Our military is going to deliver. They take care of our seniors first. Is it okay if we take care of our seniors first? You know, I got it. I knew you didn't hear this story, but I got it because I got better quickly. But I got it. The First Lady got it. And a very young, tall person, 14 years old, named Barron Trump got it. Right? And I got better. They gave me something called Regeneron, but I'm sure I didn't need it because I am a perfect physical specimen and I'm very young. I'm very young. Perfect physical specimen. You know, I said that, a little sarcastically, and I said, although I actually think I am. No, I'm only kidding. No, I said that sarcastically. CNN, right over there with the red light, just went off. It just went off. Anytime I mention them, that light goes off. We have to cut to a commercial. You know, in one way, they need the ratings because they don't get good ratings. No, they hated it when I said it. They said he is not a perfect physical specimen. It's a disgrace. He's lying to the American public. And he is not young. He is not young. They went crazy. They went totally crazy. Oh, they went crazy. They spent 2 days on that one. Joe Biden. Well, he's very threatening all the time. You know, he's so agitated, you know. Did you see him today with the glasses, the whole deal, right? You know, so you don't see the bad surgery. I put on those, what do they call them, aviators? But they're too small. They got to be bigger, right? The mirror, so you don't see anything going through it. Look good. No, he's very agitated, so angry. Everybody's screaming and shouting. He's like crazy. But he's a weak person, you know. He challenged me. Do you remember a year and a half ago? Oh, I'd like to take him behind the barn. And I said, of all the people in the world that I could fight, that's probably the one I'd like to most fight. So those legs, they've gotten very thin. Not a lot of base. You wouldn't have to close. You wouldn't have to close the fit. And by the way, he brings it up. You know, when he brings it up, the press is nothing. If I ever said I'd like to take him behind the barn and beat the crap out of him, you know what? They would say, our president is inciting evil. I'm inciting. Every time you shout, lock him up, or every time, did you see the cars today? All over the place. Cars, and trucks, and boats. All organic. It just forms. 5,000 boats. They have tractors in Iowa, thousands and thousands of tractors in this massive farm. They came from all over farm country. They had the thing with these really, I'd say, very good people. They were riding along a highway, and you had Sleepy Joe's bus. So they escorted the bus, and the radical left said, oh, what a horrible thing that is to escort the bus. They don't tell you about Antifa that go around burning down your cities, Democrat run, only Democrat run. They don't talk about that, bopping people over the head, killing people, setting everything on fire. They don't tell you about that. They tell you about people that are driving down a highway with an American flag and a Trump flag, right? Don't worry, they'll be just fine. They're going to be just fine. If they're watching, I guess they were in Texas, right? Oh, Texas will be just fine. We're doing great in Texas, by the way. Really good. You know how, this is the greatest. You know, I've had really 6 of these because I had them, but let's say 5, okay? Do you know what it is to do 5 of these? I start early in the morning. Oh, think of it. Start early in the morning. But you know what's the nice part about this one? This is the last one of the day, so we can stay all night. All night. I was rushing. They said, "You're going to be late for Florida, sir." I said, "How much?" "About an hour and a half." "Oh, that's not so bad." I hope everyone's having... I think, you know how many people we lost? I'd say 0. We actually gained. People heard about it. They said, "Let's go." No, it's great to be with you. It's great. Tomorrow I have 5 more. Can you imagine 5? 5 more. 5 more, and then, you know, normally they say 5 more and let's crash. But I don't know if I can crash. I think it's going to be a very exciting day. Tuesday is going to be a very exciting day. Make sure you get out. Tuesday is going to be a very exciting day. The most exciting day in the history of television was 4 years ago, right? Thank you. No, but it is nice. We can take our time. I can tell you stories about some of the things that happen in government. You don't want to hear them. You wouldn't even believe them. The level of stupidity, the things that we saved. Like we saved a couple of $1 billion on the embassy in Israel. We built it for slightly less. We built it for slightly less. First, I picked a site that we already owned. You know, that's better than paying millions for a site. But I picked one that was a better location, bigger, better. Then they were going to build the building for anywhere between $1 billion and $2. This is like a 2-story building, right? $1 billion and $2 billion. And we built it for $500,000, a slight saver. We had an existing building that we fixed up. We used Jerusalem stone. I said, very expensive when you bring it to New York or Washington. But when you're building in Jerusalem, it's a very cheap material. I said, use Jerusalem stone. It's great stuff. And we opened it for $500,000 instead of $2 billion. That's one of many. We could tell you about them all night, but let's get back to the... Isn't it nice when you have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? You have a president? It is a nice thing. I had a couple today, though, that were so windy. It was so unbelievable windy. And you wouldn't have believed it. The teleprompters were going like this. And then I finally gave up on the teleprompters, and we just talked for an hour and 20 minutes. I said, this is not possible to read those things. We're going, wah. Well, the winds were like 30, 40. The press knows they couldn't hold onto the camera. That was a positive event. They know. They never saw. It was probably minus something if you talk about wind chill. I think it was 30 degrees with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. And it was blowing right in my face. These people that set this up, it was blowing so hard. And I had a whole section on illegal immigrants pouring into our country, and I left it out because I said if they would have had to suffer the cold weather that I was, they would never come in. They would have stayed. They would have stayed right where they came from. They had some rough... We had 3. The first 3 were freezing. So I go from freezing, and today it was like 98 degrees. I said, how warm is it in Florida? Sir, it's about 97 degrees. This is wonderful for not catching pneumonia. Biden's cruel lockdown would be especially devastating for Florida's tourism and hospitality workers, for the services industry, and for millions of Latinos in Florida, Arizona, Nevada, and all across the country. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support your family, and freedom to live your life, then you have no choice but to cast your vote for a person named President Trump. But I don't have to talk too much about Sleepy Joe because I spent a fortune today to give you a beautiful, look at the size of that screen that we put up. Where do you have two? Oh, you have two of them. This must be Florida. Look at that. You have two of them. Take a look. Here's a video. Roll it.
Hey, cognitive.
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you're taking tests where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this guy. Oh, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
There is not a single solitary reason in the world why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, you see how things have changed?
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
If you could take care, you were a quartermaster, you can sure and hell take care of running a department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies department. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Why you're getting nervous, man?
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, going to find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Rock and I think it's a right for people that bad at health care. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Thank you. We saved so much. I don't even have to say. I could say good night, everybody. Have a good. That cannot be your president. The Biden lockdown would cripple Florida. My plan will lift Florida to record highs. We've already been doing it. So joining us tonight, we have some wonderful people. You have a wonderful, great governor. Loves your state. Loves your state and loves our country. Governor Ron DeSantis, right? A man who's become a really good friend of mine. We went to war. And he's a tough guy. He's a smart guy, but he's doing a fantastic job for you and for everybody. Senator Marco Rubio. see you, Marco. You have great senators. This is one that happened to be your governor also, and Ron would be the first one to say it. Rick Scott did a great job as governor, doing a great job as your senator. Rick Scott, where's Rick? Where's Rick? Thank you, Rick. And a great job on television today, Jeanette Nunes. Thank you very much, Jeanette. Wow, what a good job you did. What a job you did representing your state and said nice things about a lot of people. The only one I really cared about was me, so I was very happy. You did a great job today. Thank you very much, Jeanette. Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Petronas. Jimmy, thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Great. Doing great, Jimmy. And we have some warriors with us, real warriors. Mario Diaz-Balart, Congressman. Thank you, Mario. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. He's become a friend of mine. He had the, China plague, and he got better pretty quick, right? Got better quick. And now he's immune. Until I came along, they said, if you're immune for life. Everybody's immune. When I got it, I said I was immune. They said, yeah, but it's only from 4 months now. Mario, they only now give us 4 months, okay? What a terrible thing. I'm sorry I did that to all of those people. And another warrior, tough guy, smart guy, and really my friend, Brian Mast. Brian. Thank you, Brian. Congressional candidates, they're fantastic. Byron Donalds. Where's Byron? You are doing great, Byron. You are doing great. Good job. Fantastic job. And another man, I've known him for a long time. He's terrific. He's going to win. He's up in the polls, by the way. Carlos Jimenez. Where is he? Carlos. And the next mayor of... Thank you, Carlos. Good job. And the next mayor of Miami-Dade County, Steve Bobo. Steve. Hey, you're a popular guy, Steve. You're a popular guy. Former Attorney General and a fantastic talent and my friend for a long time. Oh, we're going to look for something for her. She had to go out and make a couple of bucks, and I'm sure she's doing great. She's always done great, and she was an incredible representative of your state, a very special woman, Pam Bondi. Pam, great. You're doing a great job. Great person. Another great person. She was so tough in California. She was the DA, right? The DA. And she was brutal. I think she's like 471 to nothing. You never wanted to get in trouble with this one, and she's a very special person to me and to my family. Kimberly Guilfoyle. And I have respect for champions, okay? There's a reason you're a champion, and whether it's Jack Nicklaus, who gave us a beautiful endorsement the other day, or so many champions, right? Not too many champions. Usually they tend to choke in the end. In the end, they're not champions. But we have one of the greatest fighters anywhere in the world. In fact, I was willing, before, when there was a little trouble back there, I was willing to pit whoever that poor person was against the greatest fighter, Jorge Masvidal, the greatest fighter. I went to a UFC fight. And this gentleman, and he is a gentleman, he's a great guy, actually. Hard to believe. How the hell are you such a nice guy? I have a feeling, I don't know. But he was fighting a young superstar, right? He was a young, handsome guy, really good-looking guy. Maybe that was the problem with him. He looked too good. And I was Dana White, the great Dana White. You know who Dana White is. What a job. What a job. And he said, let me tell you something. You know, Jorge's been around for a little while. He's won most of his fights. I hear he's got a very big one coming up. I'll be watching that one. I'm gonna be watching it. He's a fantastic talent. You know, he fought as a very young guy. He used to fight at 8 years old. He'd beat up people that are 16 and 17. And then one day they said, let's take this guy to the gym. And you know what? He beat up all these guys in the gym. And he said, and he's a total champion. He's a total champion. But I'll tell you, I was, and I do want to take that bet. Is that person still here? No, she went back home to mom. Went back home to mom. But we had this young, handsome, really a good, looked like a male model. And Dana White said to me, this is the future of the UFC. Watch how great he is. He's tremendous. Wasn't he like 12-0? And he walked in the ring and he was full of stuff. And this guy walks in. And the fight lasted, what was it, 1.5 seconds, I think. 5 seconds. It was the quickest knockout in the history of the UFC, right? No, he just, it was like, ding, he runs across the ring, kicks the hell out of her in the face. And I looked at Dana, I said, Dana, what happened? What happened? He's a great fighter and he's a great guy. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, man. Champ. He's a champ. He's got that heart. He's got that heart. Thank you, man. We need more people like him, I can tell you. We need people like him in our government that have guts and courage and smarts, too. For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting ridiculous foreign wars, and defending our foreign borders, and we didn't defend our own borders, right? But now we do. And now we're finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops back home to the USA where they belong. It's enough. It's enough. For 47 years, Sleepy Joe Biden betrayed Hispanic Americans. I'm not going to let you meet him, champ. You may get angry. That'll be 1/10 of 1 second. Now he wants to close your small businesses, eliminate school choice, and attack our Hispanic law enforcement heroes at the border. You know that. The radical left will assault Catholic organizations, ban prayer in school, and fund extreme late-term abortion. I will always stand with the incredible Hispanic American community. You know that. Well, that's one of the things that's going wrong with the vote. I mean, I'll tell you, you've been here so long. And some of you have been here since like yesterday, right? I know you've been online. But you've been here a long time. But I'll tell you, so one of the problems with Florida for the other side, for Sleepy Joe and the Democrats, is that they're saying, what happened? The Hispanic Americans are not voting. They're not coming out for Sleepy Joe. Who the hell can vote for this guy? No, they're saying that's one, right? The other one is the black community. What's going on? They're voting for Trump. They're voting for Trump. Look at you. They're voting for Trump. They're voting for Trump. Did you see it? 18%. You know, the old days they get 4%. You want 4%. You needed 4%. 18 or 19%. I think it's going up to 20%. Whatever it is, it's about 3 times what anyone's gotten. Thank you very much. Thank you to the black community. Thank you to the Hispanic community. And we're returning the pharmaceutical industry back to Puerto Rico. You know, Biden is the one that took it out. So I don't know if we have anybody from Puerto Rico. Do we have Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico? Yes. We're bringing those jobs back. That was Biden. Oh, that's right. Oh, yes. We're bringing the pharmaceutical industry back. You know, it was doing great, and then Biden and his group of clowns, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They moved it. You know where it moved to? China. We're bringing it all back. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure southern border in the history of the United States. And the wall right now, yeah, it's over 400 miles. It'll be finished very shortly. And it's everything that the Border Patrol, I listened to them, they wanted steel, concrete, and rebar. I said, what about just concrete plank? Sir, we want it this way. I said, okay, I'll do it. I don't want to give them any excuses, right? But it's incredible what's happened with that, and we have the most secure border we've ever had. And by the way, we want people to come into our country, but we want them to come in on merit, and we want them to come in legally, and that's what happens. That's what we're doing. We want them to come in. We need people to come in because of the jobs. We need people. The Biden-Kamala plan. How about when she introduced herself and they said the Harris-Biden administration, and then Joe Biden said the same thing like 2 hours later. He said, under the Harris-Biden administration, this is twice in one day. You know, I love Mike Pence. I think he's great, don't we? But I have a deal with Mike. I said, Mike, I will never say it's the Pence-Trump administration. But Mike has done a great job. He's done a great job. You know where he's done a great job? With NASA. NASA, the Space Center, we have done a great job with that. Mike has led it. The Biden-Harris plan would increase refugees from terrorist regions by a staggering 700%, including from Syria, Somalia, and Yemen. And I am keeping radical Islamic terrorists out of our country, if you don't mind. We're keeping them the hell out, if you don't mind. If Florida doesn't mind, we will. You know, I put a ban on. Everyone told me, what a horrible thing to do. Ask France whether or not that would be a good thing for them. Have you seen what's happened in France over the last week? No, thank you. We want people to come into our country who love our country, right? Not who hate. Like, for instance, we're going to win Minnesota. You know one of the reasons why? Ilhan Omar. She loves our country very much. She loves our country. It's unbelievable. Yeah? Yeah, she loves us very much. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, the most ever. And you know what? I said, we got to break the budget for this one because all built in the USA. We have the best missiles, the best rockets, the best fighter jets, F-35. Submarines, nobody even close to us. We have submarine technology that nobody's even close. We have things that we are the envy of the world militarily. And when I took it over, it was a depleted, broken military. One of the most overrated generals anywhere in the history of this country came up to me and said, sir, we have no ammunition. This was my first week in office. I was getting a little bit frisky with a certain country. You know that, right? You all know about it. And he came and he said, sir, we have no ammunition. I became much less frisky with that country. I said, it will have to wait. Now we have so much ammunition, we don't know what the hell to do with it, okay? We also passed VA choice and VA accountability for our great vets, right? Right? Yep, they said it couldn't be done. And just got a 91% approval rating from our vets, the highest by far that we've ever had. At my direction, the United States military conducted a successful operation to rescue an American hostage kidnapped overseas just 96 hours ago. Last night, he was kidnapped 96 hours ago. We went in last night. The U.S. Special Forces brilliantly executed a daring nighttime operation. They wanted to do it so badly. They wanted to do it. Yeah, they kidnapped this young in a faraway land. They kidnapped this young American, kidnapped him, and they were negotiating for they wanted money. Once you give money, once you do that, you'll have it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So We had some people that are the best in the world. You know, these are the best fighters in the world, except for him, maybe. I don't know. Different kind of fighting, right? A different kind of fighting, right? But these are the best in the world, incredible people, smart, brilliant in so many ways, and great. They wanted to do it. I said, do they want to do it? You couldn't hold them back. And they went in there, and they went in by night, and it was over very quickly, and we didn't have anybody even injured slightly. We got the hostage, and unfortunately, they are gone. They are gone. They are gone. Bad people. Now, if you pay them, they'll be doing just over and over, you know, so it would be wonderful, let's say. But once you do that, even if it was a small amount, it's no good. And they didn't want a small amount. They wanted a lot of money. Over the last 4 years, we've rescued a record 55 hostages and detainees in more than 24 countries. And some of them were very tough countries, but we were able to get them out. That's a lot. That's a record, too. And where do we have Robert O'Brien? Is he around here? He's fantastic. Where's Robert? Where is Robert? He is so good. What happened to him? He's out negotiating a hostage deal. That's all he does. Where is Robert? Where's Robert? Oh, Robert, look at him. I'll tell you. He's a little tired. This is his 5th rally today, too. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. What a job he does. Thank you, Robert. Great job, too. Congratulations. That was great. I said, Robert, you want to do it? It was like, yes, before I finished the question. You want to do it, Robert? Yes. So anyway, good job. Thank you very much. The operation should serve as a stark warning to terrorists and thugs who try to kidnap our people. You cannot escape the long reach of our American military or American justice. You can't do it. Right? You can't do it. We obliterated 100% of the ISIS caliphate, and it was a mess. Let me tell you, when I took over, it was a mess. It was all over the place. It's gone 100%. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. They were looking for him for first day in office. I said to our people, great people, I said, where's al-Baghdadi? That's all I heard about, al-Baghdadi. Every time I'd see him, where's al-Baghdadi? And one day they came in, they said, we have him, sir. What do you want us to do? I said, I'll tell you what, let's go. And we got him. Bad, bad guy. Founded ISIS. And he was trying to rebuild it again. We eliminated the mass murder of U.S. troops and many people. Soleimani is dead. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal. Iran is not doing well. They had a 27% GDP decline. It was like the opposite with all the sanctions. I'll tell you, the first call I get, if we win, we got to win. First call I get will be from the Supreme Leader, as he calls himself, the Supreme Leader. I refuse to call him the Supreme Leader, but he calls himself the Supreme Leader. The first call will be from the Supreme Leader. And you know what? I'd love to make a deal with him. You know why? We don't want to do anything bad. We just can't let him have a nuclear weapon, if that's okay. Can't let him have it. Obama paid him $150 billion. $150 billion. 150 million would be a lot, but 150 billion, it's not even conceived. This is people that don't have any clue about life. Gave him 1.8 billion in cash, in green. Can you believe it? Cash. 5 plane loads, big planes, exactly. Where is that beautiful plane that we came in? Where the hell is it? Whoops. Somebody stole Air Force One. Planes like that. I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. 52 years they've been negotiating. People would fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out, have dinner, have lunch, fly in, fly out. 52 years, I did it in 2 hours, a little bit less. And instead of endless war, we are now forging peace in the Middle East. We have the countries are lined up, 3. No blood in the sand, no cost, no nothing. They want, you know what, after all these years, frankly, we just said, what did Obama do? And I heard, and you know what I did? I did the opposite. I said, what did Obama do? And then I did the opposite, and it worked. Biden and Barack Hussein Obama made a pathetic one-sided deal with the Castro regime on Cuba. That was the other thing I did. I said, who made the deal, Obama? I said, we're going to go the exact opposite way, okay? We only have a 96% approval rating with Cuban Americans, 96. 96%. Who the hell are the 4%? Find Champ, who are the 4%, please? Huh? Now the Biden campaign has said that they will work closely with socialist dictator Maduro in Venezuela. It's not the way you do it. My opponent embraces socialists and communists because he has no choice, because that's who he's dealing with in government. I stand with the proud people of Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela in their righteous struggle for freedom. And we're making a lot of progress. A vote for me is by the way, we're making a lot of progress. A vote for me in the Republican Party is a vote for the American dream. That's what it is. So in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. It's already started. We will expand opportunity zones, increase vocational education, and provide school choice to every family in America. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. With God's help, we will defend the right to life, religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms, your Second Amendment. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. That's what we're doing. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, lower drug prices to the lowest levels they've ever gone, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars very soon. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great, incredible, wonderful people of Florida. You better vote. Vote, vote, vote. 2 days from now, America's fate is in your hands. And as I said, we win Florida, we win it all. Your vote can defeat the Washington swamp. We've done a good job of it, but it's deeper and more vicious than we ever thought. And the corrupt media right there, once and for all. So you must get out and vote. We have never had, in the history of our country, I really believe this, a more important election. We will never, ever be. This guy wants to start a conversation with me. Can you believe it? That's okay, darling. Yes. Oh, good. Joan Miller from the Brooklyn Club. Great. Hi, Joan. Joan, let me finish up. Joan, thank you very much. From Tampa to Tallahassee, from Orlando to Jacksonville, and from Pensacola to Miami, we inherit the legacy of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. And the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Florida, we have made America powerful again, our military. We have made America wealthy again, wealthy, wealthy, wealthy. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. Go out and vote. Thank you.